Hi everyone. Hope everyone is staying at home and doing safe. I'm sure in next 4 or 5 days, lockdown will be relaxed, and a couple of us would have started preparing what we should do in the next week when the lockdown is relaxed. So, what are the activities we should do? Some preparation would have gone into everybody's mind. We just thought about preparing some presentation on what all the challenges the individuals will be facing or the entities will be facing once the lockdown is relaxed, and how to mitigate all those risks. So we'll just go through some couple of slides that will give some inside information for you, how to prepare yourself. So let's get into the presentation now. Okay, here you go. So COVID, a crisis to overcome. Definitely we will overcome COVID like what we have done in the past, like whether it is tsunami or earthquake or any big storm we had in the past. So we have overcome all those difficult times, but COVID is also one among them. Though it has got a extended impact on everybody's business life, but this will also go through. So what we have done is we have in the PowerPoint, in the slide, we have segmented into 3 categories. First, we will see what is the industry-wise impact and what are the key challenges and what is that we can propose, the C cube strategy. The strategy what we are going to use it to mitigate all the challenges, it will be termed as a C cube strategy. I'm sure some of you would have seen these slides. This is a impact industry-wise has been prepared by the renowned consultancy firm. So they are categorized into moderate, severe, and high, the impact-wise, and what is the recovery period. So they classified into short and mid and long. Essentially, short is about less than 6 months, those industries can recover. Mid is anything between 7 to 12, and more than 12 months, it's what they say, it's a high. When you start drugs and pharmaceuticals, I'm sure everybody has to take medicines for their livelihood now because of the COVID and other diseases which they're undergoing now. So drugs and pharmaceuticals will have a moderate impact, and it will bounce back within 6 months' time. The next 3 industries, if you see, the impact will be severe, like livestock, retail, which is mainly non-food items, non-essential items, and wholesale non-food items, non-essential items. It will have a severe impact because people will be focusing more on essential items to consume rather than focusing on non-essential items. However, when the liquidity is improved in the market, so it will come back probably in a 6 months time frame. The next industry is textiles. I'm sure everybody will be postponing their buying of textiles for a luxury period, and probably people will be buying for like school uniforms will be having a good market, or the uniform for the corporate people. So that's why they put it as a moderate. Probably after 6 months, we can see some improvement in the textiles. By then, you will be getting a Dasara, and Diwali will be there. So people will buy ritual. So we'll be spending some money on textiles, and then Christmas and New Year will come. So there will be some improvement after 6 months. That's what the industry expert forecast. The next industry is logistics. I'm sure everybody know that there will be a complete ban on travel from all the companies because everybody is accustomed to do Zoom meeting or whatever the live license video streams they are having it. So they'll be using all those softwares and connect meetings via video conferencing. So this industry will be having a severe impact. Probably we can see the recovery period after more than 7 months to 12 months. There might be a slight improvement. Metals, so there will be a moderate impact. That's what the industry expert says. So metals, mainly it is used for the infrastructure and construction and automotive industry. So we'll have to wait and see if any fiscal reliefs given by the finance ministry for the auto industry or the construction or the infrastructure industry. So metals may have some improvement post 6 months period. Automotive, I think it's tough time. Already last fiscal year, financial year, auto was faced a real volume drop in terms of domestic consumption. And again, there's going to be a big hit now. In addition to domestic, there's going to be export impact also. So now the other countries also having a COVID impact, and they will not be spending money on cars now. So basically, they want to spend money only on essentials and keep money for their future in the savings. And the automotive, the car, passenger vehicles will be the luxury item for anyone. So this industry is going to see quite a bit of big impact, and the impact will be high and long-term recovery period, anything more than 12 months. That's what the industry expert says. And entertainment, and people are going to shut most of the malls now. So people are not going to get into the theaters in big malls, and people are not going to spend money on anything on that, because already there's a lot of people a lot of companies have reduced the salaries of their staffs and workers, and there is a freeze on salary increase for next couple of years. People are not having enough buying capacity to spend. So entertainment industry is going to have a big impact. The impact is going to be severe and long term. The recovery period, anything more than 12 months, that's what the prediction says. And banking, the industry is going to face a big challenge. The impact is going to be high because the borrowers who have taken the money for their business expansion or running of business, so they'll be having finding a difficulty in meeting their obligations. So obviously there's going to be NPA, which forecasted by the government of India, and they asked the banks to provide the extended NPAs provision. So they said you increase about 10% so that we can look into the provisions whether it is required or not in the next quarter. So they also forecasted some bad assets may occur in the banking industry, and gems and jewelry, tourism, hospitality. So these are really a luxury industry. When people are having enough money, so they'll go and buy, or they'll go and spend, they'll go and enjoy. So these are three industries which they're going to have a big impact. The severe impact is going to be severe, and long recovery is more than 12 months. So our suggestion is, if anybody is in this industry or supporting these industries as a tier 1 or tier 2, probably you can de-risk yourself by getting into some core essential industry in like food items or hospital items or pharmaceuticals, something like that you can think of, and getting into by de-risking yourself, get into some other partnership or joint venture with some other industries. Electronics, this is also one of the luxury item. The impact is high, not severe, but it's high, but recovery is also long term. That's what the focus says. Last but not least, MSMEs, the talk of the town now. So all the MSMEs are having a bigger impact because they don't have the liquidity on the hand to pay their GST, to pay their salaries, to pay their wages, to meet their even the electricity bill. So there are a lot of representation made by the MSME Chamber of Commerce, MSME forums to the Minister of Finance to get more fiscal relief or interest benefits for these, especially these industries. So government is yet to come back on all those proposals, but the impact is going to be high, and recovery period, I'm sure, because they don't have a bandwidth to manage their cash flows. So this is going to be a long-term recovery. People have to wait and see more than 12 months only. They can come back with their normal performance. So these are some of the industry-wise impact and when can they recover. This is based on some analysis they have done. So now we'll get into the challenges. So what are the challenges which industry is going to face? We just categorize into 3 buckets. Before that, okay, so business is a chess game. Right, everybody knows chess. So this chess board has got 2 colors. One is the white square, the other one is the black square. So like it's like a profit and loss. So every business has got a profit and a loss. Okay, there may be a profit coming from one vertical, and you may lose some money on the another vertical, or one unit may have a profit, other unit may not do so much well. So it's mix of both. Okay, so that's why we call the business a chess game. And customer is king. our customer is king. So we are here to serve them. We exist because of customer. So everybody has to have this thought in mind. Our customer is always king, right? Then cash is queen. So you know that in the chessboard, queen can go any direction. So any number of steps, she can go and hit the enemies. So like cash is also, if you have enough cash, more cash, so you are the pioneer in your industry. So you can do whatever you want. So cash is queen, and whatever the cash you are having on hand need to be procured and saved for your future. So barring king and queen, so we are all other players to protect king and queen. If the king is lost, the game is lost, the business is lost. So we need to serve our customer who's a king with our queen with support. So now we get into the key challenges. So challenges, one is the future demand. Now nobody is having a clue. So what's the demand is going to be? Nobody is able to predict. So what will be the next month's forecast? So what is the domestic consumption is going to be? When the export market is going to be open? So there is a big chaos going on determining what is the demand is going to be. And controlling on cost. So we have got a huge cost sitting on our head. Like, so we have a committed labor force, committed fixed costs in terms of investment in fixed assets. We have borrowed term loans, we have borrowed working capital. These interests have to be served. So this is all we are going to reduce costs, how are we going to optimize cost. So this is going to be the second challenge. Next is the cash availability. I'm sure about 40, 50 days, the factories have been closed, the corporates have been closed, so there is no sale. So the cash has been drained by meeting our tax obligations and salaries and wages. So the cash is draining out from our pocket. So the cash availability will be a key challenge for the next 6 months. So then how are we going to mitigate these challenges? So we should have done yesterday, some of the steps we should have done yesterday. I'm sure few of you would have done it. So let's see what are the things we should have done. We should have interacted with customer and asked what is the market share? So how this market share is going to shrink? So what is the potential demand? So probably we will have to estimate something from the industry experts and get some insight from the market research analyst team for the next 2 years. What will be the potential demand? So that we need to understand. If not, we should have to do it on a war footing basis. So get what should be our top line. Based on the top line, we'll have to rerun the business model. And if you have a multiple segments, if you have multiple products, so we should create a business plan or profit and loss and statement for each and every product, each and every business vertical, and see each and every business is making sense, making profit on its own. So we cannot allow to make one product subsidize the other one. So if the loss-making product is there, so we'll have to see how to optimize the cost and increase the profitability of that, or how to get out from that business. So we'll have to think and do it very fast. And based on the volumes, whatever we have received, and based on our internal information, obviously we can suggest, we can do a sensitivity analysis based on a 75% and 90% of the volume levels, and build your cost structure only based on 75% level. So 75%, there is no scientific reason behind this. Maybe you can go to 50 or 60. So whichever suits you, you make your fixed cost structure, operating expenses to the barest minimum possible. Then if anything, any sale is happening over and above that limit, definitely it's going to, all those benefits you've got, the conversion cost, whatever it's going to bring in, it will add contribution to your pocket. So it will meet your fixed cost. Anything you make more than that, so it will improve your EBITDA and it will improve your bottom line. So this is the main task. I think the core team, management committee team has to sit and do this exercise. I'm sure April and May would have been tough time for all of us. So though we are in the middle of May, whatever the expenses we have spent or we have accrued in the month of April, so that may be categorized as fixed cost actually. So that means without that cost, we are not survived. Like we have got some of the examples, salaries of our staffs and workers were supported and will be supporting us for the business. and electricity demand fee. Though we are not operated the machines, there is a bare minimum demand fee we should pay to the electricity boards, and rental of office, factory, and buildings, communication costs like your internet lease line, whether we are using it or not. So we should be paying some base minimum plan. So these are some of the costs we have listed down here. These are fixed costs. Anyway, we'll have to pay whether we run the factory or not. We close the factory for about 31 days. But obviously, we have met all these costs. So these are the bare minimum costs we should consider the fixed cost in the going forward. And what we'll have to do is, if any cost we incur post lockdown, so it should bring me additional contribution. I'm going to spend any money on logistics, so it should bring me more sales, and it should cover my variable cost, even though the fixed cost is already we have covered. So anything we recover more than our variable cost, it's a contribution to meet our existing fixed cost. So any money we spend other than this fixed cost, it should bring me more contribution. Without that, so we should not sign off any POs, any checks towards the cost. Even, okay, whatever the fixed costs we have mentioned over there or you have identified, all the fixed costs are fixed for the purpose of short term. So we can rethink and we can renegotiate with the terms with the service providers and renegotiate and bring down the cost. Suppose if you are using the 10,000 square feet for your office, probably you can redo the layout. So you can give the option of working from home for a certain category of people and reduce it to 8,000 square feet or 5,000 square feet, whatever the suits your need. So typically also on the communication cost. So you can understand what is your bandwidth consumption. So if you're using a 40 Mbps, probably you can go down to 20 Mbps. So like that, so fixed cost is not really fixed. If you look at the long term, probably we can renegotiate and bring down the cost. So based on this, what we have done is we have categorized the challenges into 3 buckets now. Equally, the whatever we are going to mitigate now. So that is also into 3 buckets. We call it C cube strategy. C cube strategy. The first C stands for cash flow. So what we see and seen in the previous slide is the cash is the queen. So we need to have a cash flow prepared for next 2 years. I'm sure that this year, 2020 and 21 fiscal year is going to be a real challenge. So almost when we come out, it will be 4 months we'd have lost because of lockdown. So hardly we will be having enough, we'll not be having any breathing time for recover the losses what we have left in the first 4 months. So this and next year, 21-22 will be slightly better than current financial year. So we need to have a 2 years cash flow. That too also we need to prepare a cash flow for 3 or 4 sensitivities and have a arrangement with the bankers for any shortfalls based on the worst case scenario for the funding and to meet your business operations. Then the next C is capacity optimization. Everybody is sitting on a big capex and the assets are not utilized or underutilized. So we'll have to see how to optimize running the machines. Like if you, brutally, if you ask me, if you have a machineries which has been designed to manufacture, let's say 100 parts per hour, and if you have 500 units per day production, so it as per design cycle time, it should run only for 5 hours. So after the 5th hour, I think we should lock the machine and keep the key with the plant controller, or if the plant controller is not in the plant or in the office, so probably you can nominate. So the key lock, each and every machine has to be with the lock and key. Okay, so that is the way of aggression. We need to have it when we are running the machine. So we'll have to optimize the capacity, and if you are having existing capacity, probably you can sell the capacity to your tier 1 or peer companies, so that you can at least recover something towards your fixed cost, for the contribution. Cost reduction, that is the third C. So based on the sensitivity analysis, take the worst case scenario and fix the cost. Means cost should be rock bottom down. Okay, that is the cost which is allowed for the people to spend for the certain number of volumes. Let's say 60% of your volumes, that is the cost we have approved, and more than that, so nobody is allowed to spend. And if God's willing, turnover improves by 60-70%, more than that. So any recovery over the variable cost, so that will add to your contribution, that will improve your EBITDA, and that will improve your bottom line. So these are the 3 C's: cash flow, capacity optimization, cost reduction. I call it as a C cube strategy. I think each and every one of the management team member, we call it as a ManCom, management committee team. So they should have the C cube strategy in their mind every day, and it has to be percolated down to all the people also as far as possible. So this is the top 3 items everybody should focus, so that we can win over the COVID crisis. Definitely it can be overcome. So these are some thoughts. So we just want to share it. It's not the exhaustive one. Probably you can take some of the inputs from your existing practices and implement it and sandwich along with this, and definitely you can overcome. So thanks for listening. All the very best.